Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. So just to introduce myself, as Jill said, I'm Andrea Wayman. I'm Group Chief Executive of Elite, which is made up of 5 social enterprises. And what I'm going to speak to you about today is the repurposing of cardboard. It was a joint venture between Elite Paper Solutions, one of our social enterprises, and Cwmtaf Morgannwg University Health Board on their journey towards net zero. And I'd like to pay credit and kudos to staff from Cwmtaf that I've been working with, which is Craig Edwards, Joanne Sullivan, Tom Powell and Aled Guy. So who are we and what do we do? Well, Elite is a charity that's made up of 5 social enterprises. I'm demonstrating 4 of them here. One is the Supported Employment Agency that was set up in 1994, and that's at the basis of everything that we do. Our main aim is to find employment and training and volunteering for people who are disabled or experience, difficulties in terms of barriers to employment. And Elite Paper Solutions was the first social enterprise that we ever set up. I'll tell you a little bit more about that now. We also have Elite Clothing Solutions and Elite Training Solutions, and we've recently set up a catering enterprise as well. And at the core of all of that is looking at circular economy, sustainability, right throughout, as well as the paid employment that we offer individuals. So I'm going to speak a little bit about our work with Cwmtaf. So Cwmtaf, just to quote, the NHS had 600,000 tonnes of waste per annum, and 85% of the waste was non-hazardous, much of which was recyclable, and significant amounts of that were either incinerated or, sent to landfill, which was not the best use of that. And Cwmtaf Morgannwg itself produces 2,000 tonnes of waste per annum, including cardboard packaging. So in 2019, the government's chief medical advisor, Professor Dame Sally Davis, called the NHS a significant polluter after her annual report revealed the health service created 600,000 tonnes of waste a year. And that was more than the entire municipal waste from some European countries such as Cyprus and Luxembourg. And I'm quite fortunate to work with those staff in Cwmtaf who wanted to see waste as a resource and look at repurposing. The position at that time was that cardboard was considered as a waste, and it was removed by a large waste disposal organisation. Some of that was recycled, but some of it went into processing, if it was considered dirty cardboard in that sense, and so it could have ended up in some landfill or being burnt. And so what Cwmtaf wanted was a better solution to that. Now, coincidentally, running alongside this, Elite Paper Solutions, which is a document management organisation, and where we traditionally collected confidential waste, shredded it, and had it recycled to be remade into office paper. We went through COVID, and at that point we wondered whether all offices were going to close down. But at the same time, there was a lot of cardboard on our streets, with people having deliveries from Amazon and any other online type of shopping. And our staff with learning disabilities actually came into our worksite and said, there's cardboard everywhere, isn't there something that we can do with that? So we set up a range of research to see what we could do with the cardboard. And the outcome of that was an animal bedding product. We'd worked with Cwmtaf since 2016, and we'd actually procured to run their confidential waste service. So they'd been quite used to working with us in a circular economy sense, where their confidential waste was destructed and then sent off for recycling. The process that we had of procuring for that was through Welsh Government's NPS service, and it was very seamless then for us to take over this system of confidential waste from the previous contractor. I will add that as a social enterprise, we also save the NHS money, and there were efficiencies in our collections as well due to the joint working attitude. And that initial contracting then has enabled further mutual progression, and one being in particular the reuse of waste cardboard. So elite animal bedding was tested quite a bit during 2021. We had a number of customers that we tested it out on. You know, they were virtually our guinea pigs, because it was really important for us to get feedback on whether this would be a long-term product for us. It's important for us that we repurpose, but, you know, likewise, it's really beneficial for us to earn income from that repurposing as well. So this is some of the things that our customers said when we surveyed them. And we also did this as part of a study for ourselves as well, and part of our own development to take this to market. So our customers were feeding back that they wanted the bedding to be compostable, you know, spreadable as fertiliser. A lot of them were farmers and stables and places of that kind. We also discovered in our research to create this animal bedding that a lot of horses and ponies experience COPD. And likewise, their owners had some respiratory issues because they've been around the more traditional types of bedding throughout their lifetime as well. Others were looking at cost, better absorbency, and things that broke down as well in the field, because if you've cleaned out the stable, you know, and you've had your upkeep that can last between 6 to 12 months, it really can be a problem for horse owners or farmers, that kind of thing. The type of bedding that we produce will break down in as little as 8 weeks. So that had huge benefits then to the customers that were using this. So basically, just to describe the bedding that we're producing, from simply shredding the cardboard, it's 100% biodegradable. As I've mentioned, post-consumer, the mixed corrugated cardboard contains natural materials, and that means that it can break down into the natural elements in as little as 8 weeks. It's ideal for animals and owners with allergies because it's seed and spore free with very low dust content. And that reduces the risk of lung infections and allergies to both animal and the owner. And the bedding doesn't contain some of the toxins that could be found in wood shavings as well. And one of the really good things that came back in feedback from our customers was that it was much more absorbent than a traditional bedding. It was much more comfortable for their animals. It absorbed up to 3 times its own weight in water. That minimised odours because you know, things like urine were going to the bottom of the cardboard, and it was allowing for the use of less bedding at the same time. And so the animal bedding became much more absorbent from the bottom up, and that also kept the floors and the animals nice and dry as well. So the link then with Cwmtaf, you know, because of the fact that we were going into their hospitals and their sites to collect their confidential waste, it was a much more seamless process to simply collect the cardboard waste that they had at the same time. And you can see in these photographs some of our staff, our vehicles that collect the waste cardboard, and also then the way that it's stored on site by Cwmtaf Morgannwg in terms of us being able to collect it. I just want to throw this in, and I can appreciate that it's not that clear or decipherable. So this is an NHS social value exercise and social value system to look at how much money is going back into our communities, you know, in terms of social value and social impact as well. And this was quite important for us in terms of our work with Cwmtaf and other public sector bodies over the 2 years following COVID. And during that time, we had a spend from the public sector of about 480,000 into Elite Paper Solutions. That enabled a social value of close on £3 million through either the jobs that we created or the training or the volunteering opportunities, or again, work with our communities. That could have been employers, working with them through Disability Confident, for instance, and providing advice and guidance, as well as the things that we saved in terms of circular economy, you know, recycling, repurposing and so on, and how much that saved in emissions. And so the return on investment was £6.12 for every pound that was spent. So what next for us in terms of working with Cwm Taf Morgannwg? So this is an ongoing relationship. We see that working collaboratively is the way to go. Through the work here and collecting their waste cardboard, we're now supplying South Wales Police in terms of their horses and their dogs. You'll shortly see that in a video that we've got. We're addressing and they're addressing and amending their contract with Veolia to exclude cardboard pickup on a number of their sites on a trial basis. But bit by bit, each week, we're rolling this out to more and more sites to collect the waste cardboard. And just to give you an idea, you know, we sell our cardboard in bales. There are approximately 28 bales for every pallet that we sell. And we've recently this week had an order for 40 pallets. That uses up 22.4 tonnes of waste cardboard and is much more effective use than that either going into landfill or being burnt. And so what Cwm Taf do is they keep a calculation of that carbon footprint saved on each of their sites. So they work in collaboration with Elite to collect cardboard from across the estate. They're now seeing cardboard not as a waste, but as a resource. They're getting that out into their comms so that the wider community and also all of their staff are aware of this and that it links into the 2030 vision that they have, not just at Cwm Taf, but throughout the NHS. So Elite are also considering repurposing the confidential waste paper that we destruct for Cwm Taf into further animal and pet products. So we're looking at creating a cat litter pellet product from that waste paper. And also then the joint process and progress of recycling plastics with Cwm Taf and a company called Pulse Plastics, which are within a 10-mile radius of our sites. And that's really good because there's waste that was previously classed as clinical waste. We've now overcome that, and they're high-value plastic items that will be repurposed into another product. And then linked into that, we're examining the possibilities with procurement about reducing cardboard and plastic use upstream. So as Jill said, you know, we're reducing that waste within our services. And I'm now going to move on and I'm going to hand back to Laura. We've had some technical difficulties with the video and Laura is going to show the video and I'll stop sharing.
I think it's going to be me, but we're gonna have a go at this. If you stop sharing and then.
Yeah, I have lost my. Bear with me a moment.
Oh, it's going, is it?
Can people see that?
Yeah, I can't hear it though. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, I can't. For some reason, it's not allowing me to stop sharing. Bear with me. Okay, that's stopped sharing now for everybody.
Hoping. Oh, hang on. I know what I didn't do. Did I? Wait a minute. We will get there.
Our team met Craig Edwards back in 2022 and we were interested in promoting the sustainability side of the agenda across Cwm Taf Morgannwg. From the cake work that we did together as a team, we decided to recycle cardboard because it was readily available. There's plenty of cardboard in the NHS that can be reused or repurposed. I think every health board has a lot of cardboard, every public service has a lot of cardboard. Here in Cwm Taf Morgannwg, University Health Board, everything that is delivered by NHS services is delivered in cardboard packaging. So that could be food, it could be medical equipment, it could be anything.
The waste cardboard that comes out of Cwmtaf Morgannwg would go off with our current contractor, shipped abroad, which obviously has a massive environmental impact. And Elite are able to collect the same product in an electric vehicle, and sort of closing the loop, I suppose, for circular economy. The product is shredded, baled and sent down to South Wales Police for the dog and equine department.
So with our animal bedding, we have a wide range of customers, which include the NHS. Our drivers go to the hospital to collect the cardboard. It then comes back to our warehouse here in Pentrabach in Merthyr. And what happens is it first goes into the sorting department, where our warehouse sorters will go through each piece of cardboard to make sure that it's clean, then goes through the part of the warehouse where all the machines are, and it then enters our cardboard shredder. We then create 28 bales per pallet of cardboard, which is the typical usage that farmers or any of our customers will use. We then deliver it to South Wales Police over in Bridgend.
So we were contacted by the NHS to become involved in the project to assist with a trial with Elite with our horses to receive a number of bales of the shredded cardboard. So we've had that delivered. We've trialled it for a couple of weeks now. We've utilised it with 3 of our horses. So for us, it's been fantastic to trial a different type of bedding. So with the cardboard, what we've found is that it's lower in dust than the pellets that we use. So for some of our older horses or horses with certain medical conditions, it's been working really well because it's lower dust. And what we've seen so far with the staff, they're breathing in less dust as well, and when they're mucking out horses every day, they're preferring to use shredded cardboard. We also found that our dogs really enjoyed sleeping in it as well. So we've been using it with our dog section as well as the mounted section.
We use the bedding for them to sleep on. We find that it's very good for insulation. It's spread around on the floor and they'll sleep in it, couch up in it, roll up in it. And we found that it's cost effective and it is good insulation. It doesn't offer any dust. So allergy wise, they don't seem to sort of pick up anything from it.
Within the main charity of Elite Supported Employment Agency, we are also hoping that we'll be able to create work experience and work placement opportunities with South Wales Police Station. So they'll be working in partnership with the main charity to employ and give work experience to individuals that have additional needs, perhaps autism, learning difficulty, learning disability, and then building up a positive relationship there as well. The hope is that if we can maintain a positive working relationship with South Wales Police, that possibly even in the future we may be able to work with other police stations if all goes well.
Okay, I think it gives you a great example of an organisation who potentially could have just said, we're doing our bit, we're recycling, and ticked a box. They've gone and looked at how could they use that waste as a resource, how they've created, I think it's actually saving the money from some of the figures that they've given me, and it's creating social value within the local economy and creating jobs. So if you'd like to open up your mics, put your cameras back on, and I'm sure you've got some questions for Andrea.